All right, guys, welcome back to 1822 MC Adventures and More. My name's Pete. This is my channel. And this is Shadow, my assistant. Say hello. Hey, say hello. That's right. Sit. Show everybody how smart you are. Okay, good boy. All right, so why are we here today? Well, it's come to my attention that some people I know are sleeping cold in their hammocks. You know, you never let a friend sleep cold, right? I'm not in the Navy, so bunking up is not an option. So real quick, let me show you what my wintertime tarp consists of. And if you haven't already figured it out, I am here at the 1822 MC Adventures and More Proving Grounds, also known as my backyard. So let me take the camera off and show you what we got here. So what I have here is, if you can see it, a gold armor. Was a green camouflage, but once the sun hit it, it's now like a brown camouflage. 12 by 14 tarp. And I'm running a ridge line from the corner of my shop. I have a bite over there. And I've got a trucker's hitch right here. I got a prisset cord, a prisset knot with a carabiner on here so I can get this good and tight. In the middle of the tarp, rather than run the line up over the top of the line, I've tied it to the ridge line with that there tie out. And there's tie outs on the side, which I've got going to the building. I've got going up here to this tree to keep that from sagging. If you can see it, I pretty much got the same setup in the back. And as you can see, there's a lot of room in here. And tie downs and tie outs everywhere. I'd have to say a gold armor is really quite a good tarp. My only bitch, and that's just because on the other side where the sun don't shine, the tarp is green. And on this side, it's like duck hunting brown. So it is what it is. So let me turn this off. I will flip up the tarp and I will show you what I do to stay warm. Alrighty, so hopefully everything's in frame, guys. What we have here is a Dutchware Chameleon 12-foot extra wide hammock. Hey, bub. And of course, Shadow once again's got a photo bomb us. What you doing, boy? And this is a double layer hammock. Why did I order a double layer hammock? Because I had 2 single layer hammocks and I fell through one of them. We're not going to do that again. That, and when you have a double layer hammock, you have the options of sliding a mattress in between the layers, which is, you can see it over here, there's a double side, and I'll be yanking the camera off the tripod in due time. So if I was rich, I would simply get on Dutch's website and order a zip-on Chameleon underquilt for this, rated at about 0 degrees, and I probably would stay warm. But I'm not rich. So what I've done is, for those of you that follow the channel, you already know, but for those of you that do not follow the channel, this, and I need to retie this, this is a River Country Products poncho. It's like 5 feet by 7.5 feet, and it's longer in the back than it is the front, so you can flip it over your backpack, blah, 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 blah. It's like 10 bucks, okay? It's not a military grade poncho. It's a $10 poncho, and I use these things for rain flies and this Ranger roll. And inside here, what I have is an old poncho liner, and what I did was I put grommets in the appropriate places and I tie it off onto the hammock. Oh, and for those that wonder, you probably can't see it, but I cut the hood off and I sewed it because otherwise it hangs down there like a freaking nutsack. So anyways, so we get this on there, and of course the tarp is like 5 feet wide, and the poncho, excuse me, and of course the poncho liner is like 5 feet wide. I feel like Nancy Pelosi sometimes, I swear. We'll talk about that later. And this is only like 72 inches, so you got a little slack. And while you do need some slack, you don't need that much. So what I did, let's see here, see if I can do this without falling all apart. I need to get some stretchy cord for this. Shock cord, I believe, is what some people call it. So this will expand easier for my foot. Let me get the camera here and I'll be able to do this easier. All right, so like I said, I've been tying these things off to the tie outs that's already on here. And then on this side, what I have done is I have some stretchy cord, but I went out in the front yard and I got me some pecans and I wadded this up into the appropriate length, and it's got a little bit of stretch to it. And now what I'm contemplating is in the middle of the hammock, putting a couple of grommets so I can get a little better seal on this. And like I said, it's tied up here, it's tied off up here. What I did to the head was the same thing as I did to my feet, except I got a little tighter up here because we just got to make room for my head and shoulders. And it's attached to a bungee cord, so it's got a little bit of give. And then for my bottom insulation, let's see if the camera will show this. Wait for it, guys. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see here. Let's do this. See the little purple there? That's a yoga mat. So I got a yoga mat slid up in there for my bottom insulator. And if it gets really super cold, I've got a sheepskin I can put in the bottom of this, and I'm just not gonna get cold. And what I have in here, this, let me pull this out. This was my original underquilt. It's a $10 sleeping bag from Sports Academy. And what I did was I turned it long ways, or triangular like, I guess. And so I had a corner hanging here and I had a corner hanging up there. And then I had the appropriate holes in it, and I strung elastic shock cord through there, and it hugged the hammock just fine. It worked great. What I have here is a broken down old sleeping bag, which I won't buy another one. This is an Alps Mountaineering 0-degree bag. Now this thing has kept me warm down to like 0 degrees. I'm not knocking the cold rating of the bag. I'm knocking the zipper and the quality of the build. The zippers give out on me. And I've only had this thing like 4 years. And I only use it in the wintertime because I crawl into the sleeping bag, I get all situated, and I zip it up and I stay warm. But now since the zipper has broken, what I have done is now I'm using this as a top quilt. Let me find the bottom. There it is. And what I've done is I've zipped the bottom of it and I tied the first grommet off for a foot box. So I simply put it over the bag, wrap up the excess, and now, of course, I'll tuck that in on that side, and then I got a flap I can throw over the broken side, and I'm staying warm. I'm staying warm down to about, well, I think 25 is the coldest I've slept outside this winter. But I do my research and development in the backyard for one reason and one reason only. If I come up with a bright idea and I go out into the woods and it's a failure, I'm fucked. I either suffer through the night, which I have done, but now that I'm 65 years old, I ain't suffering for fucking nobody. So if something fails, I simply can go in the house. End of story. Try again the next day, right? But my recommendation is, and you get a double layer hammock. Yeah, they sleep a little warmer in the summertime. So if you're going to do swamp camping, you might want to go get a cheap single layer hammock for the middle of the summer. But it's got 2 layers, so it actually sleeps a little firmer, if that makes sense to you. If you've slept in a hammock before, you know it's just kind of like, unless you got it fitting you right, it's just kind of, I don't know, like laying on a cotton ball or something. I don't know. But when you get one dialed in, it's worth the time and trouble. But like I was saying, with the double layer, it's like there's an extra layer, there's less flex, that might be the word. And you can get that nice, what they call a perfect lay, when your feet's over here on this side and your head and shoulders is over there on that side, and you're suspended in midair and you're laying flat as a pancake. That's what you're striving for, right? And on top of the yoga mat, I'm not going to do it today, but I have a brand new River Country Products inflatable air mattress. And I will be talking about that in the near future. It started out tragic and ended quite well. I have a very happy ending for it. If you have a blow-up mattress, like last winter and the winter before, I was using my Static Climate Velux air mattress. I'd pump it up about 20-25%, and I laid it in the bottom of the hammock, and it laid out just smooth as silk, and it was insulating, so it helped keep me warm. So I was using an air mattress and my sheepskin on top of that, and I stayed warm, quite warm, very comfortably warm. So my recommendations now, here you go. Break out your pencils and paper, boys and girls. If you're on a budget, like most of us are, and you have these fancy D-rings on your hammock, you're already halfway there. And if you don't, then you're going to want to put some grommets in there. Go to Harbor Freight and get you a grommet kit, right? But don't forget to put Gorilla Tape where you want to put your grommet, on both sides of whatever it is you're grommeting. That way the grommet won't pull through. I've been lucky on this one, it hasn't done it yet. But as you can see, the rest of them have that, because just trust me, that's what you do. So where were we talking about? Oh yeah, okay, so you're on a budget. Keep your eyes peeled in the military surplus websites. Sometimes you can find a poncho liner in new condition, according to the supply guy, right? For somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 to $35. Just shop around, you'll get a feel for a fair price. Get you a poncho liner. Go to rivercountryproducts.com, order their $9.95, I believe it is, poncho. It comes in green and blue. And set it up so it'll fit. And if you don't have these doodads, still put these things about every foot, 8 inches to a foot, just whatever makes sense to you. Then run shock cord. Go get you about 30 feet of shock cord. Run it through on both sides. String it up to where the hammock connects to your straps, and adjust it as needed. But I do know that you do want a little bit of air gap down here. I still question that some. That's why I use the stretchy cord, because when I lay in here, I kind of want that to be semi-snug, but not tight. Just want it to fit kind of like, you know, kind of like a shirt, I guess. And I've had good luck with that. So I have probably rambled on enough. Hopefully you guys have learned something. Oh,